I'm born in a small town called Helotes, Texas, just outside of San Antonio. Started hunting with my dad and my brother. In school, I was normally pretty good in art, and I never really knew what I was going to do with it. I was getting, like, you know what, I'll just do like some friends and family, and then we'll just kind of go from there. And just new people, and just built and built and built and built and built. And, you know, for a single taxidermist slash guide now, I'm looking at $200-300, 200 or 300 animals a year, which is a lot.
It's too much.
Tejas. Tejas Hunt Club Podcast is the podcast for you and you and you and you. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Tejas Hunt Club Podcast. I'm your host, Brandon McDowell, and I'm sitting down with Dererk, Algueseva. This guy hit me up on Instagram. I've been seeing his page come up in my feed a few times and been looking at some of the big axis and big whitetails and stuff, and then also the taxidermy that he has on his page. So he hit me up in the DMs, of course, and said, hey, man, I want to hop on the podcast and, just talk with you and meet you and everything. I always say, talking to people on Instagram and Facebook stuff is fun. You can conversate in the DMs and everything, but, just sitting down, having conversations, not even face to face, but via a podcast is always a good way to get to know somebody, and you get to meet new people and hear new hunting stories. And that's what we're going to bring to you today on the podcast. Talking to Dererk about guiding, taxidermy, and how he got started in the outdoors and how he has evolved his life around it. So, Dererk, give us a little intro about yourself. Tell us where you grew up, how you got started hunting and everything, and
Okay.
we'll kind of go from there, bud.
I'm very, very happy to be here, so thank you for that. I'm born in a small town called Helotes, Texas, just outside of San Antonio. Born and raised. Started hunting with my dad and my brother whenever I was younger. And, you have a lot of people that say, oh, they shot their first deer when they were 5 and they've been hunting since then. I'll be honest with you. I shot my first deer when I was like 11 years old. And after that, being born and raised on a ranch really made a difference. But, I was always in school. I was normally pretty good in art, and I never really knew what I was going to do with it, and had no clue what I wanted to be later on in life. And when I graduated high school, I loved taxidermy. So I got into taxidermy. I learned from a very well-known company out of Ingram on the other side of Kerrville, Texas, called Woodbury's Taxidermy. And very, 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 very high quality mounts, great people. And I got in there as a prepper. Like, all I did was sew holes and fix stuff that was already messed up, jacked up, and for the taxidermist to mount. So I didn't know anything, but I wanted to get into taxidermy so much because there's so many mounts out there that just, they're horrible, and it's just, the quality is bad, and it's sad to say, but I love hunting so much. I love being in the country, and I love the fact that I wanted to make that animal look better or just the same as when he was alive. So that's what really drew me to taxidermy. And after getting into it and knowing all the details and learning from that company there in Ingram, it really opened my eyes. And you don't with that artwork there and in high school and stuff, and there's a lot of claying to do on a mount. You don't just throw the skin on it and throw the eyes on it. It's a lot of clay work. You got definition, you got muscle definition, you got veins in the nose, you got ear definition, like all kinds of stuff. And there's all kinds of shortcuts that you can actually do to make the job cheaper for you and faster. But in reality, all you're doing is shortchanging your customers. So that's something that I take pride in. I'm not the fastest, but I take a lot of pride in the quality of my work, and that's what tends to put me behind from time to time. But it happens. It happens. We mount
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, good artwork and good things take a little time. So I mean, like you hear those stories about, and to be honest, you're the first
it. Oh,
taxidermist
great,
we've
man!
had on the
I'm
podcast, so
stoked
that's
about
pretty
that.
cool. And yeah, yeah, and that was like one of the main things. Like I said, I wanted to talk to you about because, like I said, you're the first one. So I mean, good artwork and good things take time. Kind of like with the video stuff and the photography stuff too. But like, it's better for the customer. And you hear those like those horror stories of taxidermists that you call them and you drop your stuff off and then you don't hear from them again and then maybe sometimes the deer you walk up to pick up when they do call you isn't the one
Exactly
you
right.
dropped off. But as I feel like if a taxidermist for me, I haven't had taxidermy done. I had some buddies do some Euro mounts for me, but I don't have like a full shoulder mount or anything yet. But I feel like if the taxidermist is communicating with me and be like, hey, like, look, man, I know I told you it was going to be done this week, but we ran into something. I really want to get it right. I need an extra week or I need another 2 weeks or something. Cool. I'd rather you take your time and make it the best and make it something that you're proud of and you're proud of to give me than getting something that you tried to rush out the door because I'm on your back
Right.
because I want
That's
my
you know
deer.
what I run into that from time to time, and it's more of the lines of people get excited. They get excited to get their mount back, and
Yeah,
they want to get it back. And I'm like, it's in good hands. Like you trusted me. Like I just need that trust. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna sit there. I'm definitely not the guy that's gonna sit there and say, hey, well, I just got your skin back. Hey, I just ordered your form. Hey, I just mounted him. Then he's got 2 weeks of dry
yeah,
time, or a week of dry time, or whatever. Hey, I just got like I'm not gonna keep
yeah,
like you brought him to me, and that's the trust that you gave me. So I just need you to trust me. And if he's behind, then it's behind.
yep,
But like everything's solid. Like you have nothing to worry about as far as your animal not being here or something happening to it or something like that. So that's one thing I can say for myself is that I've never lost a skin or a set of horns or anything like that. And I think there's a lot of taxidermists out there
yeah,
that can't say that. So I am happy about that.
yeah, yeah. Probably so. Yeah. So like kind of going back to like you said you like taxidermy from a young age. Was there if you remember like was there a specific mount or something that you saw that you remember like man I want to do that and or if it wasn't a good mount was it like a bad mount
That's
like you said that you were like dude I know I can fix this or
that's
I
more
can
along
make
the
that look
lines of
better.
how it was. It was a lot of old mounts and a lot of bad mounts that really made me feel that what somebody shot that animal and that animal deserved to look good or like just like he was or better, not worse. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want
Yeah,
anything worse on my wall. So that's something that
yeah,
really drove me. I'm like, okay, like you're good at claying. Like I do a lot of clay work on my animals. On my whites, I'll do a lot of clay work. I show a lot of detail. Sometimes I have customers that say, Derek, you just show too much detail. It's like, it's like, okay. So I kind of ask customers, like, do you like detail? Do you not like detail? You know, I mean, the company that I was working for when I was working for Woodbury's, if there was a scar in that skin, you're cutting that scar out and you're sewing it up to where it looks perfect. They were perfectionists.
yeah,
Unless you specifically said, "Hey, leave that scar there. I like it because of character." Um, we're cutting that
yeah,
sucker out and sewing it up because it has to be perfect by the time we leave there. So
yeah. I think I'd probably fall into the camp of like wanting to keep those scars. Like I think it tells that
yes,
buck story, but I totally get wanting it to
I've
look
seen both.
perfect. I mean
Yeah,
that's
I
what you're
can
supposed to do.
see both
But
sides.
I fall into the camp of like yeah, I want to see that scar for me personally. I want to see that detail of like what
Right.
he looked like. Like like I tell people, if you're gonna get stuff mounted, like the few times I filmed hunts and stuff, and ask people, are you getting this mounted? And I'm making sure that like I take good pictures because I know that's gonna be like the next thing for that maybe that taxidermist to see what it looked like and everything. So and like making sure we get those to those hunters and stuff. But yeah, like I want to keep the
I
scars.
like to see scars. My big deal is probably my number one animal to hunt for and to guide is axis deer. axis deer are they're just
Oh yeah.
there's no pattern to them. They're more like cattle. They're they're grazers. They don't need to eat corn. They don't need to come to a corn feeder at all. Period. So therefore,
Yeah.
I've always loved axis deer, and they're a lot more challenging to me to guide than anything else. Anything at all.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, kind of getting into that. What all? When did you start guiding? I guess did that kind of come with the taxidermy, or did
No, I
one
would
come
say
before the
taxidermy
other?
came first. So I've been mounting since 2004. I'm out of my first year in 2004 at
Okay.
Woodbury's in Ingram, and I just kind of took off from there. I was there for 4.5 years, and the owner took me under the wing and taught me pretty much everything that I know, and I'll never forget that. Very very thankful for that because that's something that he didn't have to do.
Oh yeah.
And I stopped for a while, and then I said, you know what, like you really enjoyed that. Why'd you stop? So when I brought it back up again, and I was like, you know what, I'll just do like some friends and family, and then we'll just kind of go from there. And then it was
Yeah.
just customers and new people and new people and new people, and it just built and built and built and built and built. And you know, for a single taxidermist slash guide now, I mean, I'm looking at two or three hundred animals a year, um, which is a lot,
Wow.
and that's a lot. That's a lot. I
Yeah.
mean, that's almost mountain, you know, every day for a year. And that's with no problems, no nothing else. But yeah, no
Yeah.
tannery problems, no COVID, anything like that. Customers paying on time, which that never happens. So I mean, there's a lot of things
Yeah.
that that put a taxidermist behind, and a lot of people don't understand that. But there's a lot of variables there. But I did start taxidermy first, and then when I got into guiding, I was like, you know what, guiding is a so I don't know why I didn't think about it sooner. Guiding is a way to meet new customers. It's a way to bring animals in
Yep.
if they choose to go with you, and to get your actual, to get your personality out there a little bit more. Because the only time that they'll see you taxidermy wise is if they come to your shop. You know, and I'm a pretty
Yeah.
low key guy for the most part, but it's I enjoy guiding. I really do. Like if it was me and I could have just a shop full of people that would just mount, I would guide all the time. I would leave,
Yeah.
certain times of the
Yeah.
year and go to different states and just guide and just bring the animals in because I enjoy I'm a people person. I've been called a social butterfly, you know, and I really enjoy the interaction with people. I like it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of the same way. It's like I always wind up like going places and like seeing people that I know, and like even with my mom or like Megan, my fiance's with me. It's like we'll be in random places and they're like, "Hey, Brandon, how's it going, man?" And I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" And like we'll just keep walking and they'll ask me like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "I have no idea. Don't know that person from Adam or for anybody else, but they know me." And then like a couple people, say me, "Hey, man, I follow you on Instagram or I've seen your videos on YouTube and stuff." And I'm like, "Okay, that's cool." But like for the most part, I'm always finding somebody, or like we'll see somebody from back home that we know somewhere randomly. But pretty much everywhere I go,
Yeah,
I
that's
always
cool.
see
Yeah,
somebody.
yeah. If I'm with somebody, they say, man, we can't go anywhere. We can't go anywhere. You know somebody. We're walking the
Yeah,
streets of Vegas,
yeah,
and I see somebody, and they're like, Derek, hey man, how's it going? It's crazy.
yeah. Yeah. Speaking of that, we were in Vegas a couple years ago for the NFR, and it was me and my cousin,
Okay.
and I grew up in Goliad, and we're sitting at the tables, of course, like everybody, at the NFR stuff from Texas, like you can see them in the airport, but we're sitting at the craps table playing craps, and we start talking to this guy next to us that's playing, and we're like, "Hey man, you're probably from Texas. Like, where are you from?" He goes,
Right
"Refugio."
down the
I'm
road.
like, "Oh my gosh, you're like 20 minutes from the house." So yeah, you always go
Yeah, I got a
somewhere and see
ranch right
somebody
between Cuero and Goliad that we shoot some 180 pluses on, and just good, great, solid deer. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. It just seems like you can't go anywhere, and then you get like we have caps and we have some decals that I always try to give out to customers. Like, here, take them. Put them on your ice chest, put them trucks or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'll get it's funny.
Yep.
I'll get one of my customers messaged me the other day, texted me the other day, and he was like, "Hey, this truck?" He's like, he's coming back from the coast, coming up to San Antonio. And this Ford Super Duty passed him at like 95 miles an hour, and he said that truck passed me so fast. He's like, but not fast enough for me not to notice your decal on the back of the truck. Is that you? It's like, no, it's not me. No, it's not me. But I know who it is. So,
That's somebody else. Yeah.
but yeah, it is. It's nice.
That's funny, man. So if you got like in the guide and stuff, if you guided out
I
of
do
state
some
too?
guides out of state. I don't do a whole lot. I do have a family here in Texas, so that part's kind of hard to be able to
Yeah.
do that. But I do like.
Yeah.
I would love to get on some more guided hunts in New Mexico for pronghorn. Um, yeah, I
Oh,
like that.
come on.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I do some stuff. I do some whitetail in Oklahoma, but most of my stuff
Okay.
here in Texas. I'm pretty busy for the most of the time with axis deer because you have your summer bucks and you have your winter bucks, and and then I have
Yep.
guys that specifically want axis deer and velvet. Like, come see me in April. Come see me in April, and
Yeah.
we'll start
Yeah.
knocking them down. So we've been knocking them down from April until last weekend. Really, we got quite a few axis that are
Awesome.
losing their horns right now, and then some that are still probably at least a month out from losing their horns. And then we've seen a few. We know we have a lot more than what we've seen, but we definitely have a few more axis bucks that are in velvet right now that should be hard horned here soon,
Okay. Yeah.
hopefully. And that'll be our winter
Yeah.
bucks. But yeah,
So what do you see? I guess like the split. Like most guys want hardhorn axis deer, or like there, or do you see a lot of people want to
what?
shoot
It's
them in
kind of
velvet
crazy
too?
because the years it kind of changes. Um, it kind of changes. I have
Okay.
some very, very good repeat customers. I'm super thankful for that. They come hunt with me 3-4 times a year, and they're out of Arizona. And this year they came.
Okay.
We do some predator hunting too, and big on bobcats. And so he came down and he wanted to shoot a fallow. So we went and shot a nice white fallow. Good palms on him. There's nothing wrong with him. He's a very, very good, respectable fallow. He's like, Derek, I really want to come down and shoot a bobcat. Can you do it? I said, yeah. We're calling some bobcats. I use nothing but Fox Pro stuff. And actually,
Okay.
I just got on the Sniper Hog Lights team. So shout out for those guys. They've actually, yep.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
So he has actually supplied me with some lights. I use Fox Pro because I like Fox Pro, but they don't give me nothing yet. They don't do anything for me. But Sniper Hog Lights, man, they've helped me out, and it's a solid light. That light's just solid. I mean, I literally kind of get off topic here for a minute, but just to show you a story, like just a quick story.
Yeah.
I literally had to use that metal housing flashlight to end a fox because he got a hold of my dog the other night when we were predator calling. Yeah, and I had to use that metal housing light to take care of that fox. So,
yeah,
it's
it's durable.
very durable, and I haven't even called him to tell him about it yet. But super thankful for all the people that stand behind me and all my hunting. Sniper Hog Lights, Sitka Gear, Ranch Armor. I have a fully decked out Can-Am by Ranch Armor, and
I saw that on your page.
Better. Those guys are awesome. But as far as it just kind of varies. Those guys from Arizona came down, and all they wanted to shoot was nothing but velvet ones, and we shot 3 in one day, all from 31 to 34 inches. Great bucks. Are all fully grown,
nice.
Fixing to start shedding. so it was a perfect time. Um, but this year, I would have to say that I've had most of my customers, they've wanted hardhorn bucks. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
we've only shot I don't know 14 or 16 velvet bucks, and we've shot probably
Okay.
30, maybe 30 something hardhorn bucks this summer, or at least up until now. So, and I all I hunt is Texas Hill Country. All my Axis bucks in the Texas Hill Country, um, Bandera, Bernie area, and Junction.
Okay, yeah. That I mean
Yes, sir.
that's good access country. We used to hunt a place. Well, it was a little farther west. It was a little north of Del Rio, but it had good access out there. And I mean that population is just growing and it's moving in other places. I mean, I. I don't know if you like. I'm guessing you pay attention a lot, with like all the wildlife and stuff. But I mean, from the axis deer lately, getting their populations growing and spreading out to like the black bear that are starting to show up now in South
Out from up
Texas
in
and
Mexico.
stuff. Like it's I think yeah, I think a lot of people say, like the golden age or whatever, they always talk about that of hunting. Well, I'm gonna say for the golden age in Texas, I think it's like really kind of just getting started. I mean, not that we can hunt
Yeah,
black bears or anything, but like, eventually if they keep coming over and we start having populations, uh, the women in town aren't going to want those big
no,
raccoons going through their trash cans and showing up, coming out your front door to water your
no.
dog, and there's a black
It
bear
looks
out there.
nasty.
I mean, you see all that stuff happening in California and everything, but yeah, nah, I don't want black bears just walking up to the
Well,
house and
just
everything.
these axes just populate so much, and people. I mean, I've heard some people just say, "Oh, like how bad they are," and they're taking over everything. They're taking over the whitetail. I'm sorry. I'd rather axes take over whitetail than anything else because, for one, they taste a heck of a lot better. They're a lot bigger animal when it comes to Texas Hill Country, so you get a lot more meat off of them. You get a lot more
Yeah.
meat off of them, and
Yep.
hopefully sooner or later that some of these access prices will go down and help out some of these families that all they want is meat. Like meat hunters, like we're not trophy hunters.
Yeah.
We can't afford that, but we like the deer meat. I would hope that
Yeah.
some of these prices can fall back down for a lot of these families that they just want to eat deer meat. Like they don't want to eat the horns, and
Yeah.
that's a kind of tough one.
Yeah. And especially like you said, in the hill country, I mean, you shoot a white-tailed deer in the hill
Yeah,
country, it's gonna be pretty small, regardless if it's an old buck or a younger one or a young doe or older doe. Those deer run a little bit smaller than what you're gonna see
right.
down in South Texas for sure. And I mean, the axis deer, like you said, I mean, what would you say an average but a good average axis buck is gonna weigh?
160. Yeah,
Yeah, compared to maybe an
yeah,
80 or 90 pound whitetail.
yeah,
I'm taking
yeah.
that
Probably
160.
160. I mean, we've shot axis bucks. I got a ranch that's not far from me, and they've been great to me. And it's called Bluff Springs Lodge, and a family friend of ours owns it. And David Heap and his two boys, Dustin and Travis, are absolutely awesome, and they have great access deer. And I am very thankful for the opportunity to be able to hunt on that ranch. And between myself
Yeah,
um, and maybe one other gentleman, we handle all the access deer. He doesn't have to bring in anybody else. We
yeah,
only shoot so many a year, and that way we don't kill out for next year. You know what I mean? But I mean those. I mean, heck, we
yeah.
shot.
I mean, it takes
Yes,
management for
definitely,
sure.
definitely does. And those access deer are just so different, and they're just such a pretty animal. But we've shot some bucks out there that are probably 200. Just super mature.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
super
can
mature.
happen.
They're old. You go to lift those in the Can-Am, and you're like, oh, God, help me out here, dude. You know? You gotta ask the customer,
Yeah,
hey, you think
yeah.
you can help me for a minute? Like, come on, help me out. So
Yeah.
it's you're trying to do it by yourself. You're like, dude, just help me. Yeah, just put your gun down for me, please, and just help me get him in the back.
Yeah.
Some of those dudes are just they're they're stout. They're toads, you know. Uh, I mean, he
Yeah.
feeds them. They feed them really well. They feed them alfalfa pellets, and they feed them good hay all the time. And they got great protein out there, and that's how we're allowed to shoot so many per year. You know,
Yeah.
summertime bucks. We have our wintertime bucks, and we kind of take a little break and take a little inventory, and see what we're dealing with. Um, we got a buck out there right now that I mean he's 34 inches, 34 plus, which I mean it takes a good deer. It takes a good axis deer to be 34, and um,
Yeah.
even though it's a high fence ranch, they've never brought any axis in on that ranch. All the axis that are there have been native, and it's been high fence for decades. So they've done a lot of managing on their axis deer.
Yeah.
And man, there's an axis buck out there right now, and the boys and I found him. I was like, dude, that's a good deer. Like that's a great deer. He's 34, easy 34. Man, I don't think he's 35, but he's definitely over 34. But most axis you have 3 points on each side. Six. Well, he's got two
Yep.
extra really good points right at his bases. So he's an 8. And then we've seen some there with 7s. We've seen a 9-point axis buck. I mean, he's got that. He's he's working on that non-typical is really what he's going for. But I mean, he's getting them. And we said let's try to save this guy. Let's just try to save this guy till next year. And man, I already got a customer ready for
Yeah.
him. He's already ready to go next year for him, so he's already excited. But
Yeah, and that's cool that you have like the opportunity to be able to do that, you know? Like you can look at that buck and be like, "Hey man, he's a good buck, but we're going to give him some more time. We're going to let him,
yep,
spread his seed and get some does and stuff and then and grow a little bigger and like get him to his full potential." And I like you said, it's the management piece and just seeing those deer get old, man. And shooting old mature deer is to me better, regardless of their
right,
size, of a horn or anything. But just shooting a mature animal is, I mean, way better than
definitely.
shooting a young one.
You get a lot more meat off of them, and it makes such a better mount. Um, especially like when your taxidermist understands and knows that it's a more mature deer, to put that like the sagging skin underneath his underneath his jaw, giving him some jowls, just to have that more maturity look in him. And when your taxidermist understands that, it does make a beautiful, beautiful mount.
Yeah, yeah. I bet it's probably sometimes it's probably hard, or you ever come to the conclusion like when you look at a mount that you've done, and you're like, man, I wish I could
Yes,
just keep that one. If
yes,
I could just hang that one up,
yes,
for
yes. I
people to see.
have, but I am definitely, and I know there's a lot of people that would agree with me on it, but I'm definitely not that person to put something that somebody else shot in my house. But man, I have done some mounts,
Yeah,
and I was like, God, I wish I could can I just hold him for a while, He just turned out beautiful.
yeah, yeah.
I,
Yeah, but I could go on your side to say, if you put it together, you're the taxidermist. That kind of that would give you at least the right to hang it in your shop, to show it off or do it that way, to show customers and stuff. But I totally get you on like hanging mounts that you didn't shoot in your house and stuff. Yeah, like I'm
yeah, not not
not
my
my thing.
thing, but I love it when customers say, "Well, Derek, what do you think?" Ma'am, I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to lie to you. I would put him like this, but in really and truly, it's where you're going to put him in the house. If you show me where you're going to put him in the house, then I'll
Yeah,
give you a little bit better. I'll give you some suggestions to show him off. But I don't want you to put that on me because I'm going to mount him. I'm going to mount him how I think he would look good in my house. You know what I mean? So give me a little
yeah,
bit. Give me something. Um, but yeah, like man, bears. Like I love doing bears. Life size bears are just awesome. Like they come together so well, and with all that hair, I mean, you can't really put a whole lot of detail like in the bear's like body because they have such long hair. So basically, anything with short hair.
Yeah.
Like I love working on like early season whitetail, like something somebody shot with a bow because their hair is still short. You can see a lot of, the a lot more detail like in the shoulders and the wrinkles and the muscle definition and stuff like that. But it definitely
Yeah.
happens where a mount comes in and we do it. I'm like, man, that's such a good looking mount. Golly, I wish I'd have shot it.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, that's probably easy to happen, man. But like you said about the bears and stuff, like mostly black bears, or have you done any
I haven't done a
grizzlies
grizzly
or
in a long time.
uh,
I did do some
brown
grizzlies
bears,
whenever
anything?
I was working for Woodbury's, and man, that was years ago. Um, but
Oh, I'm sure.
I really like the black bears because they don't take up for one, they don't take up a whole lot of room in your shop because they're definitely a little smaller. But I guess
Yeah,
because I've always wanted to shoot a black bear, I've never really had any intention or want to shoot a brown or a grizzly because that's a lot of room. You better have a damn big house, you know, to put one.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it is a lot of room. That one's pretty high on my list. A grizzly
There you go.
with my bow, actually, like really, really high on my list. But I do want to go shoot a black bear too. Now that Canada's back open and stuff after COVID and everything, we're kind of trying to scope that out and see about going up there to shoot one with my bow. And then, of course, I definitely want to hunt them with
Heck
hounds and
yeah,
stuff like that.
that'd be a lot of fun. One day.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. That stuff out west, man. Me and my buddy went up to Idaho, hunted mule deer, but that stuff out west, once you do it one time, you're always it's always going to call you back a little bit. Like you said, the
Yep.
pronghorn and stuff in New Mexico. I'm trying to hopefully I can I want to do a pronghorn hunt next year. I didn't draw anything out west this year, so next year I kind of want to go somewhere and
Hit
do
me up.
do a hunt somewhere. So might
Hit
have to
me up.
talk to you about that for sure.
Definitely hit me up. Yeah, we're just inside of New
Yeah,
Mexico. Um, like 16 or 18 sections of land, and I mean it's quite a bit. Yeah, it's quite a bit, and we don't
yeah,
we don't shoot very many
for
pronghorn
sure.
off of it. It's a private deal, which is great. You get to control a lot more, so it makes it nice.
Yeah, yeah, and I know it's pretty hard to draw in New Mexico because I mean they don't have like preference points, and you got to like it actually is a
Right.
draw every year. So some of those the better units and stuff that you're not going to get a good chance at it unless you apply every single year for a few years. But I'm yeah, I actually got to buy points here coming up. I know it's on the 31st for Wyoming. I want to go up there and hunt pronghorn. So I've been buying points there for the past couple years, and then like I said, I got to buy some more this
Yes, sir.
year. Yeah. Well, that's cool, man. So, like you said, that the Axis is your
100%.
favorite to hunt. Is it
Yes,
your
it is.
favorite to mount
100%.
too?
Yeah, I love them. I mean,
That's
I
awesome.
love them so
Yeah.
much. I mean, I took my logo off of it. My logo is, and man,
Yeah.
they're so pretty and they make such good mounts. But man, they can be a pain in the ass to hunt. And I think that just, it's not like a whitetail. Most whitetail they're going to be patterned coming into a feeder or something like that. And you don't have to.
Yeah.
That's the other thing about like exotic hunting which I love to do exotic hunting because I do that more than whitetail hunting because we can do it all year round. Um, they don't really have a
Yep.
whole lot of patterns to them, but axes they're just that much more challenging, and I like it that much more because
Oh
it's more
yeah.
challenging. We're like, man, that's not the one we're looking for. Let's go find another one, and I'll go walk. I'll walk and
Yep.
walk and walk and take my video camera and I'll walk and anything I find, I'll take video. That way, okay. Well, I know what this guy looks like. We have this guy. This is what we got. Saw this one in velvet. I got whatever. Um, but yeah, they're just beautiful animals. I love mounting them. If it was up to
Yeah.
me, I'd mount nothing but axis deer. If I could be the best in Texas, if I could
Yeah,
be
the
the
best
if I could
axis
be the
deer
best in Texas and everybody
taxidermist.
sent me their axis deer, I'd do it and not do anything else.
Hey, that'd be a good
and
little that'd be a good niche to have. I mean, like you said, you're
they
in the
just have
right
so
spot.
much
You're in the
character.
right
They have so
spot.
much different character, and they're all different. I mean, I don't know. I've mounted a lot of axis deer, and to be honest with you, I don't think I've mounted one that's even close to like another one that looks like him. Something's always different about him,
Yeah,
always. So
yeah,
it's they're just my
yeah,
favorite, hands down.
yeah. You got two places, Hawaii and Texas, and from what I've been hearing, just from the people that I've met that have been over the Hawaii,
Yes, we
we
do.
we
So
have the
there,
bigger
yeah,
deer.
there, yeah,
Body size, we
there,
got to
yeah.
beat.
Ours are we have a lot more mass to ours. Ours are a lot wider. Theirs are pretty streamlined, pretty narrow. But you know, I mean, I think they, I know the Hawaiian brothers over there. They shoot some 33s and stuff like that. I don't think they shoot very many 34s. I know that they shoot some, but I don't think they shoot very many of them. Most of them are like 30, 31, 32, 33. But yeah,
Yeah, I feel like they have a lot of. I feel like they have a
yeah,
lot of numbers, and they have like just they're competing, so they don't have that nutrition to really get them that big
yeah.
because there's so
There's
many
a
over
lot
there.
over, is what they say. I'd like to go shoot one, just to say that I shot one in Hawaii, but I got
Yeah,
I got 5 axes on the wall, and they're all different. Um, and they're all every single one of them are all low fence. I've never shot a high fence axis buck,
awesome.
and I have two more that I want to shoot. I want to shoot a real wide one, and I want to shoot one that's non-typical. I don't have a non-typical axis buck yet. All of mine have.
Okay,
They're just straight,
okay,
clean 6 point bucks.
nice. That's really cool. I mean, like you said, like you just want to go over there and shoot one in Hawaii, and then get you a big wide buck. I mean, but once you say if you get those,
Probably,
I mean, are you going to stop? I guess. Well, I
probably
guess you. Yeah, yeah. Are you going to stop shooting axis deer? But I guess you kind of like you kind of have it out, since you guide the stuff, so you
right.
still get to hunt axis deer and stuff. But like, yeah, just not shooting them all the time. You have more rifle hunters, or do you ever have any bow hunters or
I'll tell
anything?
you what. Can we pause this for a minute? Okay, one
Yeah.
second. So sorry about that. So
No problem.
most of my people are rifle hunters. Um, my Arizona guys, they all shoot rifle. They're used to shooting distance. So when they came to Texas,
Mm-hmm.
and they've been to Texas, the dad has been hunting with me for 3 years now. Actually, he's been hunting with me for 4 years now. And the first thing he brought over was that 6.5 Creedmoor. And I said, man, that's all I did. And I said, what kind of ammo are you shooting? This and that. And we kind of went through the whole thing. And he was like, Derek, like, I shoot good. I said, well, I'm not saying you don't. But that bullet here, unless you are a great shot, and I mean great, not good, great, it's too fast down here. Hill country, we don't have a whole lot of, there's not a big distance thing there. It's not, the range is pretty small.
Yeah.
So, and that Creedmoor bullet just goes through them so fast, they have no idea that they're hit. No clue at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
And it doesn't give them any time for that bullet to really mushroom out and make any damage. And he's like, oh, we use it up there all the time. He's like, we shoot elk with it. And I said, I don't care about the size. The only thing I care about is the speed. So
Yeah.
when he came and shot,
Yeah.
he said, all right, I'll bring my 7 mag. Is that better? I was like, yeah, you bring your 7 mag. And I'm going to show you how tough these deer are. Great shot. He'd already been hunting with me for 2 years. Came and shot an axis buck with me. 34. He wanted a velvet one. He's 34 on one side, 34 and a half on the other. Good coddles, kind of short brows, but he was all there, and he was in velvet. It's pretty velvet, not the messed up, already rubbing off, bleeding, and everything else. No, he was beautiful. It was a beautiful stage.
Yeah.
And he shot him that 7 mag. That deer went 60 yards and never bled a drop. And he said, "Holy crap!" I said, "I told you, dude. These animals are freaking tough. They're tough. If you don't know your bullet real well, they're tough." But I did have the privilege this year. My nephew is. I have an older brother. We're 5 years apart, and he lives down the Texas coast. My brother owns Mojo Guide Service and bay fishing, flats fishing, duck hunting on airboat. That's his deal. So he takes care of that. I do my best to try to take care of anything that we can hunt on 4 legs up here. My nephew got into 3D archery hunting a few years back, and he's rated number 1 in Texas. He's rated in the world. He called me one day and he said, "Uncle Derek, you have any?" He said, "Do you have any stud Axis bucks?" I said, "Well, yeah, I got some." So he's he'll be 16 this year. So he was 15 when he called me, and I said, "Oh yeah." He says, "Uncle Derek, I'm going to send you somebody." I said, "You're going to send me somebody?" He goes, "I'm going to send you somebody." I said, "Okay." He said, "I'm going to send you Paige Pierce." And I said, "Dax, I'm sorry, but I don't know who Paige Pierce is." He said, "Uncle Derek, he's the number 1 women's archer in the world. She is like, not only like my crush, but she's everything. She's everything. Can we do this?"
Yeah, not to cut you off. Did you see the giraffe she shot?
Yeah. So you follow her. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So
I do.
I said, "Okay." He said, "Sorry." He said, "Can I give her your number?" I said, "Give her my number." She calls me like less than 10 minutes later. "Hey, Derek, Dax gave me your number." I said, "Yes, ma'am." I said, "How can I help you?" So, well, we've been on 2 Axis hunts in Texas so far. I live in California. My fiance and I live in California. And we've been on 2 Axis hunts so far, and we've zeroed. And we're looking for, obviously, I got to shoot him with a bow. Is this something that you can make happen? And I said, "Yes." I said, "I don't like doing bow hunts, like walk and stock bow hunts, because it takes a lot. It's not like a walk and stock rifle hunt, you know? A walk and stock bow hunt with an Axis is tough. You know, it's tough." And I said, "What are we looking at?" She said, "This weekend." "Come on. Oh, man, let's do it." She goes, she said, "For real?" I said, "For real. Come on, let's do it." Her and Tate came up, and they stayed in town. They wanted to stay in town instead of staying at the lodge, and they came in, and I said, "I said, get here a day early. We'll go drive around the ranch. I'll just kind of show you and get you familiar with stuff, and a little bit entertaining, And okay, so I meet up. We're driving around, and I said, "Hey," I said, "Go grab your bow just in case." She said, "Okay." She said, "Like, for real?" I said, "Yeah, for real, for real. Like, grab anything that you would normally hunt with, grab it just in case. Because if we see one good enough, we're going to go after him now. We're not going to wait till tomorrow." "Okay, Derek." So we took off. Sure enough, I found 2 right away. And I said, I think we need to go walk. Let's go walk." So us 3 went and walked. And there's one of our sponsors is SIG. And they have some awesome SIG binoculars that I've never seen before. And they're
the auto stabilizing
awesome.
ones.
At first, it's like, man, like I don't drink a whole lot, but man, these things kind of made me feel a little groggy. You know what I mean? But so yeah, we're walking. Well, we bumped them, so we got a good look at all 3 of them. They stopped and they turned back and looked at us. It's like, "Those are 3 good bucks, Paige." She said, "Well, which one?" She said, I'm gonna tell you right now, Derek. I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay. If he's broken or unsymmetrical, I'm probably not gonna shoot him. I don't care if he's 10 yards. I said, "Okay." So now I know what I'm looking for. Now I know what I'm dealing with. All right. we walked, sweated our butt off, and walked. And it was early summer, and bumped two more, and then bumped them out like into this field, and we got a good look at one, two. Then there was a third one. I said, okay. I said, Paige, that one buck is super wide. They're all three real mature bucks. I said, but I think he's broke off on his left brow. She said, I'm not going to shoot him. I told you, like, he's got to have to be symmetrical and like pretty much perfect. Okay. Well, that other one's probably 33, maybe 34, symmetrical, a little narrower. And she said, I like that one. I really like that deer. So we stalked and we stalked and we stalked and we stalked. They went out in this field, came back around. Her husband's video and Tate's video and the whole thing. And he walks through this opening. And I told her, I said, Paige, he might not turn broadside. You might have to take a shot because these axis deer, they're not like whitetail. Like they know something's up. Sure enough, he walked straight and he never turned. And she put it right in the middle of his chest and pulled the trigger. Smoked him. Blood coming out everywhere. He ran off. Actually took him a good while to pass. And man, it was a great hunt. It was good. They were super stoked. I mean, it took us, I think, 45 minutes to an hour to take pictures for other sponsors and stuff. But I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah,
it was cool. She's great. Tate's awesome, and it was a really fun hunt. And we got it.
That's pretty cool. You get to guide somebody that you know that's a shooter.
And that's why I said,
know?
Yeah, for you, yeah. Like I'll be honest, I had no idea who she was until my nephew said something, and I said, okay, I'll do it. And they're going to come back to shoot some black buck, and she actually, we were looking for a black buck later on that trip, and it just didn't work out. He was always hanging around this one area, and we just couldn't find him. We found him like on the last evening, and then we just ran out of light. I'm like, man, this guy's always here. He's like right here all the time. And we hunted our butts off. We did everything that we could, and it just didn't line up. But I actually sent her a video the other day because I was out there guiding, and that black buck was 25 yards in front of me and went and laid down. And I sent her a video, and she's like, that son of a, and I'm going to come, if you still got him, I'm going to come get him because now I just want to come get him more. And I was like, well, how's that going? And she said, well, I'm actually in Africa right now. I was like, great. So that's when she sent me some pictures, and I said, man, I said, what's next on the hit list? She said, a giraffe. I said, good luck. Send me pictures. So, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about there. But yeah, she was super stoked, and man, her and Tate are they're down to earth people. They're just super, super down to earth. They're just country people, and man, those are just. It's nice to have people like that, other than the real arrogant people that think they can hit everything and they're never going to miss. And it's good people like that. It's very nice to be a part of. And I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, and they always say, you never want to meet your heroes and stuff, or like people that are in the eye, because it ruins it. But it's always nice to, meet people that you follow on social media, or you see on TV, or see like winning competitions and stuff like that at such a high level, and you meet them and they're just like anybody else. And they, like you said, they're not arrogant. I mean, don't get me wrong. I want to meet them, and I want them like, they should have some sort of confidence in them if they're, out there accomplishing stuff, but they should still be able to, talk to people regular people. And that's good to hear she's like that, because like I said, she's a shooter.
Just like you and I are talking now. If you wouldn't know any difference, man, they really are great people. And we can't wait to have them back again. They were just, they're comical, and they're messing with each other and making fun of each other, and just it's good to have, let alone a couple, you know what I mean? let alone a couple that does it together, and they both
Yeah.
are both great shooters. And the fact that take videos for her. I mean, Tate's a hell of a shooter too, and they video each other, support each other, and oh man, it was funny sitting there taking pictures, and she's telling him how to take a picture here, and move the camera and do this and do that, and he's hey, I'm here. My job's like right now. My job's done. Like we got one on the ground, so that's
Yeah.
my job's halfway done. So
That's cool, man. But I do. That's awesome. Like I love hearing that. Like I said, but I want to give your guys a little time because I said I saw your ranch arbor stuff on your page, but I also saw a little
that's
dog
February.
that's on your page. And from the amount that he is on your page, I can already tell that he's like one of your best buds, probably your
He's my
best
dude.
hunt buddy that you got. And I'm a big dog person. I love hunting with dogs. I mean, from like waterfowl
Right.
stuff to tracking dogs to hog hunting and stuff like that. So, dude, tell me, like, give me a little history about Trigger. Or it was like he your first blood dog? How'd you get into like running tracking dogs and all
So
that kind of stuff? I'm sure it comes
yeah,
secondhand being a guide. It's always nice to have your own dog so you don't have to
it,
call somebody to come. It's a little quicker,
it
but
is
yeah,
very
kind of get
nice.
into that.
So my brother actually turned me on to getting a smaller dog, and he was like, "Man," he's like, I got this." Between my brother being an outfitter and me being a guide, we have a lot of, especially my brother. He's got a lot of guide and outfitter connections and knows all these people, and now
Yeah.
I'm in that same boat. So one of his guide buddies down there, they had they're Jack Russell Shorties. That's their breed. They don't get very big, and he said, "Hey, he's got one male left." It's like, no, I'm good. Don't want another dog. I'm good. And one thing led to another. I'm like, man, that's a good looking dog. Well, that's a really good looking dog. I don't know. And so I went ahead and I got him. And 2 days later, we were hunting axis deer. He was 8 weeks old. 2 days later, we were hunting axis deer. Put him on there. Was teaching him, working with him, and I took him anytime I went hunting: fox hunting, coyote hunting, bobcat hunting, deer, whitetail, axis, ram. It didn't matter. If I was going hunting, he's going with me. And
Yep.
that was my first one. Unfortunately, it happens, and a lot of people don't talk about this, so it's nice that we're kind of hit the subject on it. But we had an accident at the ranch, and he didn't make it, and he was almost a year. I was actually going to send him off. I didn't feel confident. I didn't think that I was good enough to tell you the truth on training a dog, had a blood trail, and so I was going to send him off, and he was going that next week. And we had an accident at the ranch. He didn't make it, and I'll tell you what, man, that broke my heart. That broke my heart. And so I contacted a little bit later. I contacted my brother's friends down there, our friends now. They're like family now, and they said, "Derek, we're so sorry, but we can't. We literally can't have any more pups." I said, "I want like the same breed, like same genes, everything." And they said, "She's not gonna have any more pups. We can't do it. She's too old." She said, "But I will turn you on to the woman that we started these genes with, and she can help you." So she gave me the number, and I reached out to Tina Whitfield in North Texas. She's in Throckmorton, Texas. Her and her husband, they own Cow County Shorty Jacks, and it's cowcountyshortyjacks.com. And I reached out to Tina, and she said, "Derek, I'd love to help you out. What can I do for you? What kind of dog are you looking for? What are you looking for?" I said, "I'm looking for a dog that will work. I want a working dog, but he's also he's gonna sleep next to me in my bed, and he's gonna ride with me in the truck and ride right next to me in the Can-Am. He ain't gonna ride and run around the ranch in a truck in a kennel in the back of the truck. No, he's gonna be a family dog, and he's gonna be with me. He's gonna be my little buddy." She said,
Yeah.
"Derek," she said, "I have a litter coming up. That's exactly what you're looking for." And so sure enough, he has a litter, and She said, "You have two to pick from. All the other rest are already spoken for. Before they're even born, they're already like spoken for." God, yeah, that's all I get is two,
Yeah.
you know. So this one had just very handsome in his face, white split down the middle of his forehead, brown on both sides, or actually he's got a white ear and a brown ear, and just the rest of his body is white. But you know what? I'm gonna take that white boy right there. I'm gonna take that one right there because when he gets covered in blood, it's gonna look awesome. You know, that's my train of thought. He's gonna look badass. So I'm gonna take him. So I picked him up.
Yeah.
I said, "How early can I pick him up?" She said, "Well, I don't really like releasing dogs unless they're at least 6 weeks old." She's like, "Really, I try to wait to 8. But for you, you want to come get him at 6 weeks,
Yeah.
come get him at 6 weeks." So I met her. She met me in Brownwood, and her and her husband and I took Trigger. 2 days later, we're hunting. We shot a Sika buck in the hill country, and that was his first animal he ever saw. I put it right on the neck, pulled the trigger. He went straight down, and I put trigger on him. And just for him to understand how it starts, no blood trail, no nothing, what an animal is, and I just worked with him from there. And he has been all over South Texas. He's been in the valley down by Rio Grande City, Now Guy, Whitetail, South Texas Whitetail, Three Rivers, Big Wells, Catula, all over the Texas Hill Country. He went West Texas. We went and shot some Aoudad. We went and shot some Addicts up there in Marathon. I take him predator hunting with me, bobcats, coyotes, foxes. He's been on a lot of axis deer. I even took him. We have another mutual friend that is a co-owner in a guide service in Lubbock, and that company is a very they're a pretty well-known company, and everybody in there is very down to earth. Very down to earth. And they sat there and said, "Derek, like, we've been hearing all about your dog. Like, obviously all they run is labs, that's all they run is labs for geese, duck hunting, and sandhill crane.
Yeah.
And that's all they run." And they said, "Derek, we've been hearing about this dog. Like, your buddy has been talking about this dog and how aggressive he is and how cool he is. Can you bring him?" I was like, "Man, that's a whole different ball game up there. You know what I mean? That's a whole different deal." And I said, "Yeah, you know what? I'll bring him." And so we took him. A couple days before, we went predator hunting, and we went and shot big coyotes up there. And those coyotes up there are mastodons, kind of what we got down here, And then we went sandhill crane hunting, and that dog did everything he could to try to bring that sandhill crane back to the blind. He tried everything he could, and I mean it's on my Instagram. There's videos of him, and he wanted to be one of those big. He wanted to be one of those big dogs. One of those big dogs got on
Yeah,
that
yeah.
ice chest and that stand. He jumped up there and sat right there with him. And he's looking up and he's looking. And all these sandhill cranes are coming in, and he's looking and looking. And I'll never forget. I'll never forget Payton, one of the big guys there. He's got him, and like we're all in our Sitka stuff, and he's holding him like this. And it was super cool. And Payton's looking up, and Trigger's looking up too, like he's a duck goose dog. You know what I mean? Like, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But man, it was a great hunt. We hunted sandhill cranes for 2 days, and taking him in something like that out of his element is, yeah, it was really cool. But that dog right there, I mean, he sleeps right next to me in bed every night. Loves my two girls. He rides in the Can-Am. He's got to be the first one in the Can-Am. Everybody knows him. Everybody knows him. That same buddy of mine, that's a
Yeah.
mutual friend. He actually gave him and his wife watched Trigger for a while I was out of town, and I was out of the country, and came back, and on his collar he had something. I said, "Man, what is that?" He said, "Man, I had to give him something cool, dude." "What'd you give him?" He said, "I gave him a trigger off of a Remington 700, so it hangs, off of his collar." Yeah, it
I
hangs
love
off
it.
his collar,
I love it.
and you know what? Like
That's
he's still got it. It's I leave it. I take his collar off of him when he's at home, because the minute I put this thing on him, he knows he's fixing to go to work. Like he's going hunting. Yeah,
oh you
he's going hunting.
yep.
So I take it off him whenever
Yep.
he's here. But there's that Remington 700 trigger right there.
That is so cool,
just
man.
different, you know. That's just different.
Yeah.
That's my dude right there. We're hunting. We go all over the place.
Yeah, those small dogs are pretty cool like that, man. And a lot of people kind of discount them because they see the show dogs and the lap dogs that are the Jack Russells and stuff, and they're like, man, that how does that dog hunt? Well, it's just like everything else. I mean, you have those lap dogs, then you have the working lines of those dogs where they originally came from. That's what those dogs
100%.
were bred for, and that's why they existed. So I mean, like those little dogs were meant to fight badgers. Like they were meant to go underground and find game and bring it back out. I always tell Megan that my old man dog's going to be a Jag Terrier. I want one of those I want one of those real bad, but I don't know if I'm going to wait till I'm an old man to get one. Those dogs are pretty cool. But yeah, like having
Trigger's not. Everybody said, "Oh, Jack Russell, they're just so hyper and they're so crazy." And man, these Jack Russell shorties are. He just chills, and even the last one was the same way.
Yeah.
All these Jack Russell shorties that I see, and now
Yep.
he's got offspring in East Texas, down and around like north side of Houston. He's got offspring here in the Hill Country. He's fixing to have some more offspring in North Texas, Northeast Texas. But man, all these dogs. I mean, he's just such a good dog, and he's got so much character to him.
Yeah.
And I can get him to talk. He'll get so excited. I'll just tell me, you want to go? Tell me, and he'll start like hollering at me. And he's just so funny.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, they say that they absolutely hate snakes, and I don't want to. Like, he went to rattlesnake class 2 years ago, and I don't want to get him used to going up and grabbing a snake. Man, those dudes hate snakes real bad. They grab that sucker.
It's hard to break them off, huh?
It's done. That we were predator hunting the other night, and I shot this fox they shot him like midway, and so that fox was turning circles, and Trigger saw it, and I just, go get him, and he goes and freaking takes off, and they're sitting there fighting back and forth, and that fox grabbed a hold of him right here, and he couldn't do anything, and he was trying to bite him, and he just started squealing, and man, me and my sniper hog, my predator I just took off. I grabbed that fox, and I did what I had to do. I said, "Sucker had my dog. That ain't happening." That ain't happening.
Yeah.
It's like that guy on on YouTube or whatever, where that kangaroo had his dog like this, and he out there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, come on.
He put his hands up, man.
That fox, he wouldn't let go. And Trigger, he was bleeding all over his mouth, and I kind of checked him out, and he was good. And I put that fox on the ground. I said, "Go get him now," and he sat there and tore him up. But he's an awesome dog, great family dog, great with the kids, very, very protective over any woman. Period. He'll take any woman over me if I'm playing around or anything like that with the girls, my two girls, or even like my buddy's wife or something. Oh, he's had enough
on it.
He is already defensive enough. Yeah, he's super protective. But
Yeah. I mean, they're cool dogs. I mean, that's my fiance Megan when she went to Africa. She came back,
What
and
they use
that's
over there.
that's what they run over there to track all their game. I mean that in itself says something. That's one of the toughest climates, and you're tough hunting some of the toughest animals. And if that's the dog those guys are choosing to run with, like I said, it says
Suckers are
something about them
quick,
for
and
sure.
they don't have a whole lot of stop in them either. He's got no quit to him, none at all. I got to get on him all the time,
Yeah,
especially when we shoot, a nice axis buck or any kind of trophy or whatever. He just wants to grab a hold of it and put freaking holes in it. I'm like, dude, get off.
yeah,
Customers
yeah.
are gonna get pissed.
You found it. Good job. Good. Yeah,
Customers
yeah,
gonna get mad, dude. Get off. But no, I constantly
yeah,
gotta keep him off of animals for sure.
yeah. So, did you wind up
I did.
just training him yourself, or
I
did
did.
you
No,
wind up
no. I
sending
ended
him
up
off
just
too?
training myself. I said, man, I said, if I can do as good as I thought I did with the other one, I think I can manage. I think I can manage. So yeah, so he
Yeah,
has his certain commands that he knows. He goes to the blind with me, whether it's a pop up blind, a tower blind, a box blind, like it doesn't matter. He always goes to the blind with me, and he knows get your butt in there, go to sleep, go lay down. He'll get in there and go lay down.
yeah,
But I'll tell you what, as soon as that rifle goes off, he thinks he's a duck dog. He's ready to go. Yeah, he's ready to go. I got to calm him down. I got to calm him down. I don't know how many times he's
yeah,
gone
yeah,
underneath the pop up after he hears that gun go off and Trigger, get back
yeah,
here. You got to call him back. I'm like, oh god, it's how embarrassing. But
yeah.
no, he hunts a lot with me, but he knows what he's supposed to do, and he definitely knows when he's in trouble, and he knows
Yeah,
like
yeah,
he'll sit there and look at me, not yet, and I talk to him.
yeah.
Yeah,
Just giving you the sad eyes.
I
They're
talk
like,
to him just like
I'm
he's an
sorry,
adult.
I'm sorry.
He's got certain sounds when it comes to
Yep.
commands, and other than that, he's automatic. He's automatic.
That's so cool, man. Like I said, I love hunting dogs. I like blood trailing dogs too.
Okay,
I have two Catahoulas, and I mean they follow the two deer. They follow the couple deer, that we've killed and stuff and found them or whatever. It wasn't no hard tracks or anything, but like by no means are they finished blood dogs. But I always like kind of messing with them and like running that stuff and like just like having a dog to that'll be able to do that. But eventually, I want to breed my female that I have and get some puppies out of her because she works pretty good. I worked her on cows and stuff before started out, and then just kind of went into like doing other stuff. I even took them to a bay pen at one time and let them do that, and that was pretty cool. They like doing that, but I do want to get some puppies out of her, and I'd like to one of those I'd like to make to like a full time
right.
tracking dog for sure.
Trigger. Trigger is. I don't think I could ever. I don't think I could ever replace his personality. He's got so much personality in
Yeah,
him that he's just such a fun dog, and I'm a huge animal lover, and man, I just like if something happened to him, like I would freak, I would freak out.
yeah. I
Here he
I feel
comes.
the same way about
Here,
my female. Like she's just
Trigger.
there.
Come
He
on, dude.
is.
There he is.
There he is. For the people on the podcast, check him out.
That's the
The
man
man we've been talking
right
about.
there. That's my dude. But
Yeah, but I feel the same way about my female, man. Like, and she's getting older too, and like I can kind of see it now the way she's moving. Like she still moves good, but I can tell like sometimes if we've been like if we go run around and stuff pretty for a while, like a whole day. Now she's kind of like laying down, not
right,
not so much ready to go again the next day and stuff like that. But like I said, that's why I kind of want to get some puppies out of her uh, sooner than later for sure because I mean, like I said, that personality of those dogs, I mean, it really shows. And people always talk about people with hunting dogs and stuff and how they don't care about them. And man, I'd lean heavy the other way on that factor. I feel like people with hunting dogs love their dogs more than anybody because, like you said, we take him out everywhere. Like you said, he's in a Can-Am, he's in the truck. Like for the most part, that's how most people roll with their hunting dogs. Now, I understand you got 6 or 7 dogs, you're hog hunting and stuff, but or doing anything else, you can't really do that. But I guarantee you, out of those 6 or 7 dogs that hog hunter's running, he's got one that's gonna go in the truck with him. We gotta go in the truck with him on the way home. That's cool, man. Well, shoot, man, I don't want to keep you on here too long, dude. It's been a great conversation. Like I figured it was going to be. I told you I was pretty excited to talk with you and everything, and we're definitely gonna do this again. Just tell some more stories and stuff. And like you said, anything we can do to help you out. If you want to plug your page and everything else, or your website and everything, I'll definitely put it in the show notes. So let people know where they can find you, get a hold of you if they want to go on an axis hunt. They got some taxidermy work they want to get done. This is the guy that can do it all for you.
Appreciate it, and thank y'all. Blessed and super happy to be able. Thank you for letting me be a part of it.
Yeah, no problem, man. Like I said, yeah. Like I said, we'll get this podcast episode out probably next week, and then we'll do a post and everything, and get it and share it out to everybody so they can take a listen and get to know you like I did today. And like I said, man, hopefully, we can keep talking and stuff, even if it's not on the podcast. Like I said, I love meeting new people, like love starting new friendships and stuff. So we can definitely work something out.
I'm definitely looking forward to next time.
Yes, sir. Well, everybody, this is Derek from Rockin' A Taxidermy. Give him a follow on Instagram. If you want to go on an axis hunt, hit him up. If you got some taxidermy work you need, hit him up. He might take a little bit longer, but guaranteed it's going to be good work. So thanks for being on the podcast, man, and we'll catch y'all next week.